This is the Violent Professional Podcast brought to you by AriesClothing.com.
That's how you do it.
This is when the intro music comes on. Well, hello.
Hello.
You got to do an intro. You got to do an intro like you do where you say bye-bye. Like,
Yellow.
hello. Hello.
Yellow.
Oi.
Oh, hi there.
This is the episode everybody's been waiting for that nobody knew existed. It was existing before.
Wasn't existing.
I made the name for the episode before we even recorded it.
Did you really?
Yeah. Siberian Deathmatch.
Nice.
I felt like it was a good...
That works for me.
Felt like it was a good name for it because we're going to be talking about Siberia today.
Weird fucking place.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know.
Oh, let me go turn my phone sounds off. That was a fish. I've got this fishing app that, like, when people catch fish in the area, it goes like a fish. That's not the sound they make, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's annoying because I've gone fishing multiple times this year, and I've never gotten that sound.
Do you hear it while you're fishing? Like, there's
yeah, if you got your sound on.
So
and then there's like, yeah, I got a fucking fish, and then you're not catching shit because they're screaming.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then you like,
motherfucker,
just get mad, dude. It's frustrating. But we were talking about it. We need to get on boats because you can't catch shit on banks here.
Well, yeah, definitely here.
Let me shut that shit off. Tell people about your mustache while I do this.
Well, my mustache is nothing short of an amazing piece of facial hair. You can see it. It's gonna get as wide as my face. It's going to be awesome. Like,
isn't it already?
Almost.
Oh, is what your face is your ears included?
Yeah, duh.
Okay. My face is my ears.
It's hard to train because it's such a wild mustache.
So I should call it the dragon because then you could say how to train. It's hard to
train my dragon.
Yeah, how to train my dragon.
How to train my dragon.
Yeah.
I posted it on a little group chat we have, and I was like, "Who wants a mustache ride?"
Of course you did.
Yeah, of course. Canfield was like, "I'm in." And then somebody else,
of course he was.
He was like, "Dibs." And I was like, "Don't worry, there's room for two. It's like a seesaw."
You can stick each tip of the mustache in each other's buttholes and fucking like ass to ass.
Dock right over my nose.
Yeah. It's like Requiem for a Dream, except Mark's the double-sided dildo with his mustache. We're already off to a good start on this episode. Let's get into something that's not so exciting that you just told me about that, you know, mind your P's and Q's on the name of this shit, but the furniture stuff.
So there's a company that you can go to their website and buy furniture from. Okay.
It's kind of like a Wish or a eBay or something like that, right? Or like those similar auctions
they're
that are like
known. They're known for their furniture stuff.
Are they like? Is it like an auction where it's like time based, or is it just an Amazon or something like that?
Yeah, it's like Amazon based where you can go on and you can just purchase the item. They ship it to you through that website. I've never bought anything from it, but I know people that have. And this is just a theory. It's not my theory. It's just something I found online because you can.
Well, a lot of people have
on there. A lot of people have seen it and they're going through it today, and they're like, "Holy shit, what is this?" So on this,
just the reason we're gonna not say something about it is because while this is a small time podcast, at least in my eyes, right? Like I don't want to contribute to the people that are out there to know people are talking about it more than they already do because there's people are talking about it.
Yep.
Anyway, so that's why we're gonna guard where it is and who's a part of it.
So on this website, people are looking up stuff and they're finding some really random things like these steel cabinets or wall hanging cabinets, even throw pillows that are going for $6,000 to $10,000, maybe even $13,000 to $14,000. So what's really weird about it is the names of the items. So I'll read one off or a couple off for you, okay? So
and they're not good looking pieces of furniture either. It's like, why is that thing fucking $10,000?
Locker looking piece. One is called Samia 5 shelf storage cabinet. Utility cabinet. Okay, $12,899. This storage cabinet is probably, I don't know, 3 feet by 1.5 feet, maybe taller. I don't know, 4.5 feet, 48 inches maybe. I mean, maybe worth $50, right? Now, regard the first.
It's not even as nice as IKEA furniture. That's the images they're using.
The name of that storage cabinet, Samia 5. Okay, which just so happens to be the same name as a 17-year-old Samia Moomin missing from Columbus, Ohio.
Oh yeah.
Yuritsa storage cabinet, $13,799. Missing Yuritsa Castro since June 10th, Connecticut, age 16.
Now, how do those? I know how, but just for the people listening or watching, how does that link up between the two? It's identical. It's similar because the names are the same, but how does it link other than a name?
So, I don't know. Other than
the skew, right?
Looking at yes, you're right. So
just trying to give it to you.
The skew. I don't know if these item numbers match the skews in there because I'm not gonna go check.
Yeah.
So, somebody went into another website and put in the SKU number for each of these items, and these SKU numbers, when they put it into this certain website, are popping up with pictures of kids, like young kids, girls and stuff. Okay, which is really fucking weird. Now, consider human trafficking these days is a big fucking worldwide scandal going on, right? And it's fucking everywhere, like hundreds of thousands of kids, and it's been going on forever.
I think it's probably been going on since, like, people weren't allowed to fuck kids, like high, you know what I mean? Like,
Annabelle Wilson.
Fucked up.
Annabelle Wilson missing since May 13th, 2020. Missing from Kansas, 14 years old. Annabelle shelf storage cabinet, $10,899. Down from $12,000, by the way. It's on sale.
It's fucked up.
So the SKU number, when somebody else found it on this other website, you put in the SKU numbers of these items, it's coming up with pictures of people, okay? Super fucking weird. If that doesn't scream human trafficking and put it into the forefront, I don't know what does.
The only, I don't understand some of this stuff. It's like the dark web exists and it's complete. I mean, I don't want to give any ideas, but it's out there. Why are these people doing this shit? Because it's not like any of these rabbit holes and whatever. I would go on looking for. I wouldn't go on that website looking for furniture, right? Yeah. Just randomly, I would be like, let me go to this fucking thing. I'd go on Amazon or something like that and buy a fucking what are like a cabinet for a fucking
nice shelf.
Yeah, buy a nice shelf, or I'd make the shit for the podcast studio. But it's confusing to me. Like, why are they so? Because it doesn't take a genius to figure out what they're doing. It just took the right person to go, hey,
connect it. Yeah,
that's weird. And I think it always lies on somebody who thinks that everything's a conspiracy, and they just happen to stumble upon it.
Yeah,
and they're like, I did it, and then they're proven right. And that is so coincidental. Those two things, the SKUs are the same and everything. Yeah. It's how the fuck could you say that it's not what it is?
Yeah.
I don't get why these fucking people that are essentially smart enough to create this system of selling people aren't smart enough to go somewhere where they can't be fucking found. You know what I mean?
Well, they're trying to make it worldwide.
I guess that could be a reason for it. It's just, it's confusing to me and why they would do it in such a fucking overt manner.
Mm-hmm. The transactions are completely legal on things, on websites.
On
wave sites.
Wave sites.
So you can make a transaction online through a website, and it looks completely legit.
I don't care if you fuck up and say something
no matter
wrong,
what the price is, right?
We'll just try not to say shit.
So you can make a transaction, and it'll look completely normal. No matter what the price is, it's just an online transaction.
Yeah.
You're buying that piece of furniture. You're not buying a person. It's just so happened to be named that, so there's no connection.
It's true.
That's the way they do it.
I guess, yeah, that makes sense.
As opposed to here's $10,000 cash in hand. I'm not purchasing an item. They could be like, well, you spent $10,000 on this. Yeah, it was this very special piece of furniture that I wanted really bad.
Yeah.
That's all they have to say.
Maybe take the mic and put it up a little bit. Still doing that.
It's like they don't
go like that a little bit. Sorry, I'm not trying.
Oh, you're good.
I'm not trying to be some podcast asshole.
It's just fucking mind-boggling, man.
A little bit down. Your words cut into it like a.
I just have sharp words.
There you go. It sounds great.
I have very sharp words.
Yeah, it's like a patow. Oh, dude, it's depressing.
It is.
I don't know if I can label. When I put all the metadata in this, I don't know if I can label this as a comedic episode. It's very depressing. I want to go.
We'll change it up a little bit. But
no, I just since we're gonna do
on that same note, before you change topic, there's a couple. There's one really big organization out there, OUR, Operation Underground Railroad, led by Tim Ballard.
It's a good shout out.
Tim Ballard was used to work for the United States government and was sick of seeing the shit that's going on and couldn't do anything about it because U.S. doesn't have jurisdiction to take these people out or catch these people in other countries that are selling humans, trafficking humans, especially kids. So he quit his job, went and created his own business.
Was he in a line of work that is in that when he was in the government?
That kind of thing, yeah.
He was a part of that, and he was like hamstrung essentially to not do more than he could.
They said you can deal within the U.S. and that's it. But all these operations were outside the U.S. Not all of them, but some of them.
Do you know which organization was he part of?
I don't remember specifically if it was the CIA or FBI. It was one of the two. It was one of the two. I'm sure I could find it online in a couple minutes. But regardless of that fact, Tim Ballard, fucking cool guy, very nice, like huge family lover, just all around fucking stand-up guy. Quit his job, created OUR, the organization, and they go undercover operation. They got agents and stuff, and they buy the kids. And as they do that transaction, they catch the bad guys, they rescue the kids, they even arrest the agents, so it looks legit, use agents. It's like it's a Operation Underground Railroad. They're saving thousands of kids a year. And they put out on their Instagram, they'll put out stories of some of the operations. They have a movie coming out. They have a documentary out right now.
It's on
Amazon Prime. It's Operation Toussaint. It's one specific operation they're talking about. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to watch that this weekend. It's on Amazon Prime, so I'm going to check that out.
Oh, cool. I'll look at that too.
What else? Blake, what is that? Ryan Reynolds' wife. What's her fucking name? Blake something.
Deadpool? Blake Deadpool?
Anyways, Blake Lively, maybe?
Yes, that's it. You knew it. I knew it too. I was just trying to act.
Her last name. Anyways, she just did a speech and was doing a shout out to that and just talking about like there's agents in the U.S. that have to look at this kind of shit from the FBI, and their hands are tied, and they're like, she was talking specifically about like child pornography, and saying how fucking graphic it is and how bad it affects people and just like how extreme it is right now. And then she was asking one of the officers, she's like, how young are these kids? And he was like, well, the youngest I've seen umbilical cord still attached.
Jesus, for real?
And they're making them have sex with animals, making just all kinds of crazy shit, So she starts crying during this, and then comes together. She's like, we need to do something about this. So Operation Underground Railroad, if you don't know what the fuck it is, get your mind right and start looking at this shit, because it's fucking more prevalent than you think.
It's fucking horrible.
If I could be part of that job and just take out fucking predators and bad guys, I'd be the happiest man in the world.
Well, I mean, there's always opportunities out there to fucking maybe you could apply with them or something like that. Who knows?
Crazy.
They probably want people with certain backgrounds, but I'm sure there's tons of stuff that could be, So go check. We'll just give a shout out to them. Obviously, we're talking about Operation Underground Railroad. You know the website address? Is it .org? look it up real quick. We'll throw it out there. Go check these dudes out. They've got documentaries. They're making a movie. It's it's a big problem these days. I think it's one of the biggest problem that you hear about it because of Jeffrey Epstein and stuff like that, but it's a bigger deal. Like Mark was talking about, it's a bigger deal than people. It's dirty. Like, even as you're talking about it, I don't want to hear it. Like, I don't want to hear that that's a fucking realistic thing, because I don't look at what's going on with it. But it's a very real problem in the world that needs to stop.
Yeah.
It's never going to stop. There's always this deviant type shit that is out there that people are sick, you know what I mean?
Evil, man. Evil.
And
ourrescue.org. OUR
Cool.
rescue.org. Operation Underground Railroad. So Tim Ballard again is the guy who runs the whole thing. They're making a movie. It's supposed to come out this winter. I forgot. I think it's based on Tim Ballard's one of his missions or something. And Jim Caviezel's playing Tim Ballard, so they're working together right now. It's pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
Jim Caviezel's a cool fucking actor. Yeah.
It's dope.
Yeah, interesting.
Not dope,
shit.
but the movies should be good.
I'm glad that there are people out there like that, and with his organization that are fighting it. 'Cause you can just imagine how much worse it would get if nobody fucking did anything.
Boy, way to kick off the episode.
Depressing. But we're gonna change that. We're gonna.
Well, we don't know. Maybe it'll just turn bad. Also, like the whole thing will just be bad.
Fuck.
Oy, okay.
Segue.
So where do I am depressed now.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna drink 2 of these just to get hyped after that. My skin's crawling.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a real problem. Like we were discussing, are we gonna do this Ghislaine Maxwell thing today, or are we gonna do the Siberian episode that we've been talking about? Because
we're gonna do the Siberian, because we'll come back. We'll come back to some other stuff
and
later
then
on.
We're gonna probably take a break next week and go take some content shoot.
Yep.
Up at is Rainier's open, right? You can go to.
Yep.
I mean, you just got to walk like 10 feet off the path.
Well, we got to make sure.
Are we gonna go to?
We got to go kind of
Mir,
early.
or
I don't think we're gonna go all the way.
It's
Mir.
fucking
We can
hike.
go to Dead Horse.
Okay.
It's just right above Paradise.
Yeah.
'Cause that's where we camped last time, and wasn't any people down there, which was cool. So we just got to get to somewhere up there that still has snow.
You said it's gonna be early. Like I can't wake up, dude.
No, I'm just saying we got to make sure we go early, because I saw
Yeah.
an article today and it just showed fucking lines of cars. It was like that was at like 10 o'clock or
damn,
something.
people
so,
fucking suck, dude.
yeah, they
people
all go at the
suck.
same time. And the article was from the National Park Association. They're like, you should go early or late.
Yeah. It's funny, like the how people. Joe Rogan just had. I don't want to talk about another podcast, but obviously Joe Rogan had one of the most recent episode was this guy he has a book about nature and like nature and unnatural and stuff like that, natural and unnatural. And he talks about how like these indigenous populations that are so into nature and they're so like in that shit with no technology, when you introduce technology to them, like a cell phone or running water, wells, clean water, electricity, they fucking love it because they haven't had
They're
it.
like, what?
They're like, I can stay up later. Like it's not fucking cold out anymore. It's not cold all the time. I don't get sick from my water.
I'm doing?
Yeah. So like everybody that's like from Seattle or some fucking big cities, they all want to get in touch with nature, and they're like, we don't want to touch those indigenous people, leave them to themselves. And it's like all they want, if they know about it, they're like, oh, that'd be cool not to shit all the time from drinking water. So I say that because it's like you get all these fucking Seattleites and these Looney Tune fucking hipsters like going out in nature, like in their fucking
Jordans and basketball shorts.
Well, I don't know about that.
I
don't think
seen it a
hipsters
lot.
do. You know, like
not the hipsters.
they live in these fucking urban areas, and they're just like you've seen them on the trail. They have the nicest fucking Aria,
Patagonia vest,
no dirt on it or whatever.
Still got the tag.
Yeah, and they think stupid shit like somebody who is just gonna want to be in a fucking oh, they just want to drink that dirty water. And then they find out there's clean water that actually tastes good, not tastes like shit, and they go, don't get sick from it. There's just people are weird. So they do stuff like go to, like, just cram into a fucking park.
Yeah.
Because they want to see nature.
Together.
But then they're burning gas as they go in.
Yep.
And I'm not like this fucking person that's like, oh, save the environment. I'm not like, I just did that voice. Speaking of which, they want to go see nature and they're just like all pro environment and shit, but then they're in these diesel fucking vehicles and like just fucking gas burning vehicles, and they go out there and they sit there and fucking spray themselves with patchouli and fucking talk to sticks and whatever the fuck they do. And then they go back to their desk job.
And they make their tea on their gas stove out there.
Yeah, it's just putting fumes up there.
Man.
Fucking idiots. Anyway, patchouli wearing assholes that talk to sticks. Fucking, they're dorks, dude.
Yeah, man.
People are dumb. I think the biggest problem with people is they don't mind their fucking business.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to live their life the way they are.
Or they want to improve their lives.
Yeah.
And then you're 100% right on that. Like,
what were you gonna say? You just changed what you're.
No,
you don't want to say something bad.
You get these liberals and stuff that look at indigenous populations that are like living with shit.
Yeah.
And they're like, we could give them this ability to be healthier, to be happier, to do more with their lives. But no, we want them just as they are.
Yeah, without even asking them.
We want them to be just as they are. We want them to suffer like they're suffering.
Yeah.
We're better than them, so we're going to look down on them like
it's a fucking there's a whole fucking thing. You could get off on we're better than them. They're actual supremacist type of mentality.
That's
of like,
what it is.
We need to lift people up.
They don't think, we just want to let them be.
Yeah.
We just want to watch them.
We got to mention this because people assume. We've been talking lately about our political affiliations, and people assume shit about me. They think I'm like this uber pro
right-wing
Trump right wing, and it's like
conservative.
I don't know how you would like. I started talking about it recently because people are like sending me this fucking Trump memes, and I'm like, yeah, like cool, like. I'm glad he's president over Hillary.
Yes.
But I'm not like this fucking dude is like fucking Trump train. I'm not that fucking dude. I'm like, so I've never really talked about it, but I said I was going to talk about it on one of the episodes. And since we're talking about fucking liberals, because we talk a lot of shit about liberals only because they're the craziest motherfuckers around and the most ironically
wrong individuals.
Well, I don't think they're all wrong. I think that everything about them is ironic. It's kind of like the fucking protest was ironic that we were a part of, or just it's crazy. Like calling everybody racist when you're acting as if you're better than a group of people, and you have to feel bad about it.
Superiority complex.
It's a fucking very ironic way to think. It's like you're actually the problem there. Like you're the people that are screaming the loudest are actually the problem, and everybody else is kind of looking at you like, fucking, you see these guys? They're fucking crazy. Like they don't even know they're being ridiculous.
So, in your mind, and in the way I see you, in the way you've explained it, libertarian tendencies. Myself. I'm not a Republican per se. I lean Republican, but I'm a constitutionalist, freedom type.
Which libertarian and constitutionalists are very similar. It's just you've got different ideas about things, just like I do. Yeah. Mine's more of a I don't give a fuck if you want to cut your balls off and call yourself a lady.
Yeah, just don't make me call you that.
Don't come to my house and fucking invite yourself over for dinner and go, oh, by the way, you're gonna address
me this way.
You're gonna be accepting of my.
And you have to fuck me.
Yeah.
And like it.
Oh, you're not going to? You're transphobic.
Yeah.
You don't want to date somebody that cut their dick off? You're transphobic. Get the fuck out of here. Exactly. Get the fuck out of here. Because I don't want to. First off, I don't want to hang out with people except for Mark and like my friends. But I mean, you're my friend too.
Mark and my friend.
You know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
I'm all thumbs today. Like, I just want and I think it's very similar in those two regards. Is like, you believe in the Constitution and like these are the rights given to you. Life
not given.
Well, you know what I mean.
But yeah,
you say it. You know what I
You're
mean.
born with
I
it.
said, yeah, okay. Yes. So that's what, people assume shit about myself and Mark because of the people we talk shit about mostly, but it's different than what people think. Like, people send me those fucking memes and I'm just like, it's another fucking person.
Well, you gotta
send me all this shit, and it's like, I don't know how many times I could say it on social media that I don't get down with that shit.
Yeah.
And it's not that people...
You got extremes on both sides, too.
Yeah.
Just extreme lefties and the extreme righties, okay? So...
I think generally...
The never Trumpers and the only Trumpers.
Yeah. And that's a problem in itself. Like, you should be able to fucking have this fucking dialogue, not hate each other.
There's other people out there, too, Like
me, myself and Mark and David, we've been in this group chat. Me and David are more similar, sort of, I guess, but he has a cat, so it's like...
Fucking pussy.
I was saying this today. It's not that I don't like cats, because I do a joke.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have pet a cat in my day.
Yeah.
I have, and I go up and go like, oh, nice cat. Now get the fuck away from me. Don't put your stupid paw on me. I had cats when I was a kid, or my mom did. We had a couple cats. I don't hate them. I just detest when people let them walk on their furniture in fucking, like, their kitchen table or anything like that. Because I would have the same fucking idea about it if it was a fucking dog. Yeah. If you let your dog jump up on the table while people are eating, I would be like, get that fucking rodent out of here. It would completely...
Yeah.
And I wouldn't do that about my dog. I love my dog. But still...
Well, your dog's not walking on the fucking table.
Last I checked, these fucking animals aren't walking around with shoes. But one of those fucking animals, one of those two dogs or cats, doesn't shit in a fucking dirt box and then fucking dig around and play in it. David told me today, I think he probably told you, it was probably in that group chat, his cat plays with shit. Like, what the fuck?
Takes the shit in the sandbox and then...
And then he sends pictures of it on his desk, right? Like, as he's typing.
Yeah.
Just sitting there looking at the computer.
He's got his paws on his head or something.
Putting it in his mouth. This is a very eclectic episode. We're all over the place.
Fuck it.
We started with the kid fucking, and then...
Whoa.
Yeah.
Reword that.
Okay, we started
talking about bad things,
bad shit people do because they're assholes, and then started talking about political stuff.
Yeah.
And then cats.
So, Siberia.
Yeah, Siberia. Oh, what else we got? Essentially constitutionalists.
Yeah, so
libertarian.
As I was saying earlier, there's far right and far left. Okay, there's the never Trumpers, the always Trumpers. And you'd think that there's no people in between these days because nobody in between is yelling about it, right? So I am pro-Trump because I think he's the best shot we have right now at retaining our freedoms for what they are. I think we will have an excellent shot if Trump gets reelected after that second term. I think we will have a better shot at getting something more freedom-based, okay? And that may be a third party. That doesn't have to be a fucking Republican. Doesn't have to be a Democrat. What I would be about is a constitutionalist, somebody who's going to uphold our certain unalienable rights that can't be fucking just thrown out the fucking window. You know what I mean? That's what I'm hoping for anyways.
Yeah, and the problem with it is that you see how crazy they go over each other.
Yeah.
Left and right. They go fucking ballistic, as we all seen. It's like people are just straight annoyed with, like, people in the middle are just fucking annoyed with both of them. I think it's fucking like it's annoying to watch. They're just like, and maybe they're doing work right, like the government, whatever. I try not to pay attention too much to the federal government because it doesn't really affect my life. It's more of the shit here.
Yeah. Fuck this state.
Continue. Yeah, dude. And that's the part that's funny because people always think I'm pro whatever. They think I'm really right leaning for whatever reason, because I shit shit on the Democratic leadership here. Only, it didn't affect me. Like, I didn't really give a shit about that until all this fucking recent shit where they're going, it's okay, they don't need to wear masks, but everybody else, you go into Safeway, you go into the fucking gas station, you gotta wear a mask or you're gonna go to jail. And then you find out, I was like, oh, you can't send people to jail? It's not legal to do that over masks? It's like, well, all the business owners have to do it. That's the kind of shit that's so tyrannical that and it's like you see that more and more and more with the left these days because no one fucking stops them. Yeah. And they are the biggest whining, screaming crybabies of all fucking political parties. And they've done that as far as I remember, if you look back, because I never thought about politics or anything until very fucking recently. The first time I voted was this last election.
Yeah.
But like, they have screamed and cried and fucking kicked their feet like they're fucking children from as far back as I can fucking remember. And it's always the people that are like, fine, fucking have your fucking thing.
Yeah.
Just stop fucking talking about it. It's like, like I'm pro marijuana, legal marijuana. Actually, I'm pro all drugs. Like, if you look at being a libertarian, that's kind of one of the things.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was libertarian until very recent. Like, I'm not a party affiliated, but I lean mostly towards that if I look at what. But it's like with the weed issue is more of a liberal thing, right? And they kicked and screamed, and it's like, fuck, stop talking about weed. Like, shut the fuck up about it. The right really is like
they make themselves sound fucking retarded over it too. Like they pander into it. That's what it's just what they do. They pander, and that's part of their strategy, which is unfortunate because they just sound fucking retarded doing it.
Yeah, and it's like, how did it become legal? Is because everybody was tired of hearing these potheads scream about how pot should be legal and all this shit. And it's like, I'm pro for it. I think that all legal drugs, if you're not fucking with me, if you're gonna take fucking crystal meth and you're gonna do something crazy, that's your fucking decision, but you're gonna go to jail if you do something dangerous to other people or yourself. Like,
so at the heart of libertarian tendencies, it's get rid of all crime, all victimless crime.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I don't think it's all crime. I think it's mostly
victimless. So anything that where there's a victim involved, that could be, like theft is still a victim crime.
And get people out of jail that had a bag of weed on them.
Yeah.
That are still in prison for life for like in the old antiquated fucking laws we still have. There's people that are still in jail for it, for something that you can go to the store right now and pick up. Yeah. Like you shouldn't be in jail for that shit anymore. Yeah. And that's kind of what it is. It's like, if you're not a violent offender or a criminal, like, you can get into the politics of why do big jails exist? It's a fucking money-making scheme.
Absolutely.
Well, there's stuff like that. But it's like, if you're not fucking anybody's life up except for your own, like, it's make your own way. And if you don't fucking make it, it's your decision and you're on the street and there's no social fallback.
Yep.
Which to some regards, there's some things about it that are bad, because if there's somebody that has a hard time and it's really legitimately not their fault and there's no system of unemployment or something like that, then, because libertarians, they get rid of fucking all of these things that we pay taxes for. There's no fucking IRS. Get rid of IRS, or what you make, you keep. And so, like, I talk shit about tax all the time. So it's like, I don't want to pay some fucking organization just to exist. And then if I don't pay them, they fucking put me in jail because I don't want to pay them for something they didn't earn. You know what I mean? I don't like that shit. Like, and I think people in general, I don't think there's really anybody out there, unless you're a politician that is pro-tax, is going to say that taxes are a good fucking thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's people that are thinking the extreme, though. So they'll say that libertarians think that everything should be privatized. That private money should go into funding infrastructure and funding these things like hospitals and stuff. And that's all well and good. And then these people are like, oh, but it's going to turn into idiocracy where Brondo is the main thing, and they're going to be funding everything.
Yeah, well,
they're in control.
There are some major issues with it that the Libertarian Party won't even address, like this shit you're talking about. Like, the social, like when there's people that legit have issues and they fall back, there's no fucking unemployment.
Yeah.
You know, there's no like.
There's no pick me up after you've fallen down beside your fellow man.
Yeah. And so like, you know, make your own way. But there's some things, and it's like, there's also the side that I don't like. We have, I think there's one libertarian in the House right now, but it's going to be fucking decades of a battle to make this party worth its salt at all, because
most of the representation they have,
they got to do.
The last 15 years has just been dumpy. Like some of them have been okay. Like they have good
Gary
ideas.
Johnson was the closest. Yeah,
he was the closest. He was still kind of like didn't know shit. You know what I mean?
And there's fucking like the people that are like the most popular in the party are like fucking artist. Trying to think, performance artist, like the Vermin Supreme dude who puts a boot on his fucking head,
big rubber boot.
Yeah. And then there's like
dudes that wear wizard robes.
It's like you're fucking it up for the rest of us. Do some other party. Do like the Congress sucks party. Like just make up your own shit.
Yep.
Like there's good intent. I think it's, for me, it's like, if we're gonna talk about like legitimate political parties, for one, it's got a fucking porcupine on it, the fucking mascot. That's dope as shit, you know. But it's like, it's gonna be years, decades. I don't know how long, but it's like to have a good representation.
Absolutely, yeah.
Have like legitimate people that aren't just like wackos, because it's like the people that don't want to be affiliated with anybody, but they're not anarchists.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's where people go to. The propaganda says that it's anarchy because it's like against, and legitimately, essentially it is, because you're going against government in its natural state, right? Like,
well, you're not going against them. You're disagreeing with them and telling them they can't go against you because they fucking work for you, which is the right mentality.
It's essentially the People's Party. But then you have these, like I was getting at before, it's like you have the Republicans and the liberals. They fight each other. But imagine if there was somebody that was opposing them. You got both of those fucking wackadoo, like far right and far left. They'd converge, become a team, like you see with anything.
Yeah.
If there's two parties, two people that hate each other, but then there's somebody that comes in that goes like, "Hey, you guys are fucking," and these two parties want to fight each other.
Yeah.
And you got somebody that goes, "Hey guys, can't we all get along?" They'd be like, "Fuck you!" And then they turn on.
So think of it this way, and I'm not talking shit about this Vermin Supreme guy. I don't fucking know him.
I like him. I like at least putting his name out there so people know that he exists, because he wears a fucking boot on his head.
So I'll just take this theory and just fucking lob it in, right?
Do it. Send it.
What if dudes like that are a fucking plant from those other two parties to make the Libertarian Party look like a fucking joke?
It could be.
You never know. I'm not saying that's the case, but
it's a threat because it's a third party that actually has some fucking merit behind it.
So get the dude to wear a boot on his head, and then nobody will want to listen to him.
Yeah.
Except for people that are that far crazy gone.
If they're gonna do that though, send that crazy dude that carries around a chicken and he's in his underpants or a diaper all the time. That dude's fucking dope as shit.
Could go the opposite way though. So maybe here's another fucking lob theory. What if he's just wearing the boot on his head to get your fucking attention? Because that's what it does. So you never know.
I think it's all of the above.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Anyway,
you know what country doesn't have all this fucking weird shit going on with all these parties?
I mean, they almost don't have anything going on.
Exactly.
They definitely don't have segways, but now they do, because you just did a segue.
Can you imagine a Segway in the permafrost?
It doesn't go anywhere.
Siberia?
Yeah, they thaw it out, and it's like, there's a fucking Segway.
What? Siberia, man. Siberia.
Yeah, we came here to talk about Siberia, and it just changed, but par for the course.
We're still going to talk. There's no golf courses in Siberia. That's for damn sure. Is there? Maybe there is.
It's technically Russia.
Yeah.
In my research, I found out that Russia, while it looks humongous, most of it is Siberia, and it's uninhabitable in most sections. You can habitate it. Is that a word, habitate?
I don't know.
You can make a house up there a little bit north of the fucking the Arctic Circle, but then eventually it gets so cold there's not even any trees or anything.
Yep.
As we saw in the show
taiga,
alone.
What they call it. The taiga. Yeah. It's like where the trees stop, basically. That thinned out forest, and then it turns into just fucking nothing.
So we decided for the podcast, we were talking about it. We're going to try to do this thing. It's not like we made a decision, but we're going to try this because I've been doing it on some of my own independent things where I go, fucking talking like this, and see, like when I'm by myself, I'm doing that fucking weird voice I do. Yeah. It's a thing I do. I get this. Yeah.
We all
fucking works. Fucking works.
Works, all right?
I go like this and I talk. I'm like, hey, fucking hey. And then I repeat the same shit. Yeah. Fucking cats. Took drugs one time. I was real fucked up. And I look at the camera all fucking weird. I'm like, hey, fucking, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I've been doing that in my little independent things I've been doing when I want to do an episode or I've got shit on my mind. It's usually I do those episodes because I'll like think of funny shit or whatever throughout the day and I'm like write just down the bullets. Yeah, and then I record it because I'm like, oh, I can fill up like, I'm pretty sure if I have like these 4 topics, I can fill it up. But what I started doing is doing a little research on a specific topic, and we've done it a few times without even thinking about it, but it was like the cockfighting episode and the medieval torture device, and we started doing that, but that's kind of like what I've seen with people requesting is that they want more shit like that.
Topic-oriented in some cases.
Yeah, so what myself and Mark are going to do when we do episodes where we have like an idea for, you know, you sent me the picture of that bear, the bear chainmail or whatever the fuck it was. We're going to try to do that. We'll do like probably 30 minutes of research or something like that, have ideas, and then we'll do an episode on it, but we're not going to like script shit out unless I print something out and we're reading it. But Mark's done his own research on YouTube or wherever the fuck he looked, and I just watched videos on YouTube and like wrote down some notes while they were talking. And then we're going to just do these little fucking things where we bullshit in the beginning, do this little fucking subject discussion, and then we'll end it with some advertisements where I go, hey, you know,
you like chicken wings?
You got this fucking podcast brought to you by Purdue Chicken. You get the chicken wings and you gullet, fucking make them real nice in the sauce. So I said all that to say this. We may not be lining up with our discussion because we both did our own research independently.
Which is fine. Which is fine.
So
on
like,
that,
shut
on
up
that,
already,
dude. On that bear chainmail, bear hunting armor, I found out that it's
that camera. I don't know if it's pointed over here. Does it look like it's right at you?
No, it looks like it's over here.
Let me check it out. Go on with what you're saying.
That bear armor is completely not actual bear hunting armor. It's actually, it's in a fucking place called Wonderkammer. It's a collection. It's in an exhibit for surreal artist stuff. It's a surrealist room of wonders is what they call it.
So it's bullshit.
Yes, it's just a piece of art.
Well, thanks for the episode inspiration.
There's a plaque beneath it that reads "Wild Man Costume, 18th or 19th century, Germany or Switzerland." It's not really from Siberia.
God damn it.
So it looks fucking cool. It's just a suit of armor that's all spikes. It's made out of leather, like pieced together, stitched together in between all the spikes.
It's like the dildo biker from Mandy.
Yes, except all spikes.
Little tiny penises.
Little tiny penis spikes. So it looks cool, but I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be able to fucking move if you wore it. You just have to sit there. It'd be like more of a bear bait armor. You know, you just sit there and just, I can't move.
That bear would still fucking get you.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't give a damn.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's fake. But it was the inspiration for the topic. I started digging into the permafrost. People dig into the permafrost.
Bad joke.
There are ivory hunters. When I say ivory, yes, it's very similar to like elephant ivory, but this is mammoth ivory, like 30,000-year-old mammoth ivory. That there are locals from Yakutsk that go up into the permafrost and they dig. They do these dig sites. They blast at the the permafrost hillsides with like water pumps and stuff, and they'll make these caves, basically handmade caves or water-made caves, and they'll try to find stuff to go and sell on the black market, because mammoth tusks, although not illegal to obtain, to get, to hunt for, they are illegal to sell. So
it's kind of the opposite of the bone trade.
Yes, so there's tons of people that go up there, brave these, this short period of time that you can actually dig in the permafrost. They get their shit, and then they go and they sell it on the black market, which mammoth ivory goes for like $400 a pound in Yakutsk, but once you cross the border into China, it goes for like $800 to $1,000 a pound, which is pretty insane, because then people are going to take that mammoth ivory and they're going to make it into art. They're going to carve it. They're going to do crazy, turn it into fucking medicine. Chinese people are weird. Not all Chinese people, just the ones in China that eat bat soup and shit like that. They turn it into medicine, and that's why it becomes so expensive. So mammoth tusk hunters, I watched a video on this a long time ago. I don't remember where the fuck I saw it, but it might have been one of those Josh Gates things. Forgot his fucking show all of a sudden. Kristen watches it all the time. It's a pretty cool show. Anyways, he goes up to Siberia and starts digging in the permafrost with these guys. They even meet some dudes that are selling it on the black market, and they're like lifting up, opening their trunk and like, here's some fucking ivory. You want some ivory? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Slanging it out of the back of the car.
Is that on Netflix or something? Did you just say that and I blanked out?
No, it's on Travel Channel, I think.
Okay.
Travel
I've been looking
for.
While we were talking about this, I was looking for fucking shows on Siberia.
Expedition Unknown is what it's called.
I've been looking for TV shows and there's nothing. There's just YouTube videos of people like...
National Geographic has a bunch of videos on it too. You'll see ones like this dude's holding this giant ass.
Giant ass? They found a giant ass in the permafrost?
You got me.
Actually, on that, they did find a giant... In one of the things I watched, they did find a giant ass of a fucking a deer.
No shit.
Like a prehistoric deer.
Nice.
Not prehistoric. It's only like 3,000 years old or whatever.
Well, that's not old.
That's not prehistoric.
I mean, it's old, but it's not like...
No, it was a 50,000-year-old deer ass they found.
Nice.
So
they found some other stuff there too. But anyways, I'll get to that. They on the mammoth tusks, there's pictures of dudes holding these giant ones that are just curved and just humongous. And they end up, if they're in one piece, they sell those. They also sell legally, the only legal way that you can sell this stuff or procure it, science. If it's for a science experiment, if you're biologically dating or you're doing something for history or, you know what I mean? Scientific research is how they determine if it's legal or not. Yeah. So if you say, I'm a scientist, I'm going to use this, here's, $4,000 for that piece of ivory. Scientists do go there to obtain it. So they'll take these expeditions out to gain that stuff, just like the ones that went up there and when they found the baby mammoth with food still in its mouth. It's an actual carcass.
Is that the one they're going to try to
they're going to try to clone it?
Yeah, cloning.
And that one they have in some freezer somewhere that's still there,
I'm sure in China they've got shit already.
Guaranteed. Dude. So
guaranteed. Alex Jones goes off about these half-human hybrid shit.
Yep.
They for sure have some fucking mammoth in a cave or something like that.
Something
that has sonar and fucking.
They have so other animals that they found, 42,000-year-old foal, so which is like a baby horse.
Yeah.
They're trying to clone that one, and they were able to obtain and extract liquid blood out of that thing.
Jeez.
So they thawed it out, and then they were like, syringe that sucked that shit right out, and they're, who knows, they're DNA testing. They're gonna fuck around with it, see what they can do. They found a cave lion cub, ice birds with feathers.
I saw the cave lion cub. It was like flat, right? Is that the same one?
I think so. Yeah. An ice age moth. I don't know how the fuck they found that, but they found a moth and didn't destroy it.
Yeah, that's.
Maybe it was like this fucking big. I don't know.
Have you ever touched a moth at all to get it out of your house? Something they go explode. Like white dust everywhere, and then they can't fly.
Let's see. And the most recent one that I saw on there, a 32,000-year-old perfectly preserved wolf head.
That's dope.
Which was pretty cool.
Was it bigger than usual, or is it?
Yes. So they said that people were like, "Oh, it's a giant wolf." And yes, it's a large wolf, but it's not too significantly.
Dire wolf.
It's big. Yeah, like a dire wolf. So, the head on this, or the snout. Okay, so imagine the snout is from like the eyes to the edge of the nose, right? From that distance, 15.7 inches, which is pretty fucking big. That's long.
Yeah.
That's like here. That's a big snout. It's
Yeah.
a big wolf.
Zia's got a long snoot. I boop her on her snoot. I go like this. I go boop, boop. And she comes up and does that. But I can imagine, like, her snoot is like
7-8 inches.
fucking 4
right?
feet long. It's like, what? Like, it's...
You're going to have to go
I don't want to
snoot.
fucking measure snoot.
Do it later.
I'll put my
We'll
dick
find
out there and
out.
be like, it's about 3 inches.
So the modern gray wolf
That's weird.
has a snout that's 9.1 inches.
I'm too liberal with some of the things I say. Like earlier, when I was like, we're talking about the kid fucking, and then I'm just like, yeah, I'll lay my dick on her nose.
On
And
my dog's nose.
think she's not gonna lick my ball sack when I do that?
Or bite it, one of the two, right?
Yeah. Anyway, continue. On with the snoots.
So
That's a big ass snout.
modern
dude.
gray wolf, the wolves that are around nowadays have 9.1 inch snout. So think another
is it measured? It's from the where it starts.
all the way to the end of the nose. So 15.7 inches is pretty big. That's a big snout. So imagine a wolf head. I mean, you'd have to hold it like this. That's a big fucking head. Wonder how much it weighed. But can you imagine the body on that thing? Fucking massive.
I wonder if it's like, I wonder if all these big animals that were like giant and shit is. It's like nowadays there's so many fucking people. There's way more than there was back then, right? Like, because how far back do they think people existed? If you're not going on the biblical sense, right? Like this 6,000 years. Like they think they've been
tens of thousands of years.
Yeah. And they don't even know if it's more than that. Like when did, whatever. You can get in all kinds of stuff like that. But I wonder if the reason animals are smaller these days is because of breeding, or that there's more deforestation, or if like there's more people and so there's less.
So I've always thought about that. Like,
if you're hunting back then, you're gonna want to kill the big fucking juicy burger. You
absolutely.
know what I mean?
So it could be that all the larger ones were killed off. So when they rebreed, it's all the smaller ones that are faster and getting away quicker that are interbreeding, and then that's just what they came out to be. Or it could be the fact that the Earth used to have a whole lot more green, and it used to put out a lot more oxygen.
Yeah.
But when there's more oxygen, larger things grow. Okay? So imagine the dinosaurs.
We're not scientists.
No, I'm just making this shit up as I go.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
it sounds legit.
If you had a monocle on right now.
I put this fucking hat on.
I don't know why you're not wearing that hat. Oh, it's because the fucking...
These can't go over it, dude. This
we don't have
fucking hat.
We don't have to do that. Listen to this. Put that up to the microphone and do the fucking thing.
That's going to be hard to do.
There you go.
Fucking rattler, man.
Snake hat.
It's my snake belt on my hat belt. It's my adventure hat. So
you could have just gone like
I put it upside down
and
just wear it the whole time.
Yeah.
Fuck, where was
Continue.
I? Oh shit.
Big animals.
Big animals. So
wolf snoot.
So dinosaurs were fucking huge, right? They had big dinosaurs out there. They also had little ones, but they had big dinosaurs out. Required a lot of oxygen intake. So things were bigger back then.
Yeah.
Not saying that people were around at the same time as dinosaurs. We don't fucking know. Who knows? Could have been some kind of bipedal.
Well, I mean, you look at some of the images of dragons and shit that people had, like very well could have been from back then.
Yeah.
Who fucking knows? People are like, that's not possible.
The Ica stones, ICA
fuck knows.
Stones. The Ica stones are in Peru or some fucking South American country.
Yeah.
Anyways, they find them on the beach and they're carved, and all these things have weird carvings in them of like dinosaurs standing with people. Back then, like, you're gonna find a fucking rock on the beach that shows a dinosaur next to a person, really?
Yeah.
Or it'll show like an open heart surgery and it's like labeled and shit, but written in some language we don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
If you think about, I mean, we can't keep some animals alive today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the white rhino just went extinct like a few fucking years ago because we couldn't keep that shit alive. and it died out. There's a lot of things like the one tribe that I researched, like the horse people that were like the kind of like the libertarians of the thing. And I say that because everybody was against them.
Yeah.
They died out. People died out. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so all they have is this fucking thing. So who's to say that fucking a dinosaur or a fucking lizard type of fucking reptilian, whatever the fuck it was, that was giant and big, if they're, you see it all over the place. Like there's carvings of fucking people with dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And, you know, in a sense, they look like dinosaurs or lizards. It's like, I mean, we got crocodiles and shit alive today. That's a fucking dinosaur.
Yeah.
These big giant snapping turtles are just smaller versions of what was around back then.
Deep sea creatures.
What would you do if you saw
crazy.
this fucking thing that was eating people or like destroying forests or
Fucking
stomping people? You'd
kill
kill
it.
it. And they're dumb as shit. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. The velociraptor is still a fucking dumbass bird. Like, you know, they think as you're going to
They're
kill
just
that
good
shit.
at hunting.
It's going around. What would you do with fucking crocodiles that are ripping people at, or sharks?
It's the
you
same.
fucking
They're
kill
killing.
them.
They're killing off sharks right
Yeah.
now. People are.
You know, so who's to say, like, if you want to look at it from a biblical standpoint, oh, that's just bullshit that people, like, God put out there to test you. But who's to say if dinosaurs existed with people, it's a total possibility.
Well, what if? I mean, you could argue with
You're
the
like,
fact with the
you
biblical
already
fact
lost
too,
us.
though.
Fucking
You
dumb.
could argue with the biblical fact too. Like, what if their sense of time in the Bible is different than our sense of time now?
Yeah.
You could say, yeah, this person lived for 800 years in the Bible, Moses or whoever, you know, whoever, however they
You
long,
don't know.
however long they live. But what if that time frame is different?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, what if that length of time was different? So the length of time in the Bible, they're thinking, oh, it's been around for 1,000 years, when really that could be like 100,000.
Yeah.
You know, or longer or shorter. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
We weren't around to see it. Anyways, wouldn't it be fucking crazy if they found a human body or bipedal type ape man thing in the permafrost in as good condition as
Goodest condition.
As good as condition.
You need the
In as
monocle
good-
and the hat now because then it's like, my good sir, is the goodest condition they could find this human man monkey.
When they find this bipedal human, can you imagine that? Like, have you seen the movie Encino Man?
Yeah.
With Brendan Fraser?
I've used that movie as a argument one time. Or several times. I think I use it quite a bit.
Wouldn't that be fucking crazy? I mean, not that you could just unfreeze the guy and he'd be around, but if you could get the DNA extracted from a bipedal person thing in the permafrost and then clone that motherfucker, weird.
Yeah.
Just to think about that is fucking weird.
It's all very weird.
Crazy shit, man.
Yeah. Fucking introduce a Segway to them, and then these bipedal monkeys are like fucking rolling around on Segways.
We always think that, like, dumb bipedals would just be banging on shit. Cavemen just be banging
Yeah.
on shit.
The
What if
files are
they're
in the
like
computer.
just super smart and they pick the thing up and they're like very fragile with it instead?
Yeah, yeah.
They don't got to be knocking shit over and
Exactly.
breaking stuff.
Yeah.
It's weird. Stereotypes, man.
The stereotypes of the prehistoric man. What else you got on your...
That was mine,
Fucking
dude. That's
shit.
all I got.
Okay, so I looked up the Scythians. That's what they're called. Scythians.
Scythians.
I wrote... I thought it was Scythians, and then it was pronounced Scythian, but it was a bunch of British people talking. The Scythians! And it's like, they say fucking tomato.
Calor.
Who does that shit? Yeah, color.
Tomatoes.
They say things different, so I'm going to say Scythian just because I already started
French
programming
fries
my
or
brain.
chips.
They're like kind of the fucking, if you look at the Lord of the Rings, it's like the fucking elf people riding around on fucking horses.
Nice.
I guess more than the elves rode around on horses, like the fucking humans and the fucking dwarves. Everybody, they're horse
there was
people.
a bunch of horse people there.
So they were nomadic tribes people, but they were in a weird position because they were influenced by all cultures. You had the Persian Empire that kept attacking them, so they were influenced when they were because they were just trying to stay nomadic, much like the people that live there today, because there's people that live in Siberia.
Like Mongolia.
Yeah.
Those dudes down there.
So the Mongols, or who was it? It was the Huns, the Turks, and the Mongols. So the Turks were part of the Persian Empire.
Yep.
And they were trying to take over the world. That you can get into the Crusades and all that shit from back in the day, right? back in the day during the Crusades and
back in the day.
you know, all like, we're not going to get into that because it's a whole, like, history is long and fucking you could talk about anything,
There's
right?
lots of it.
So, but we're talking about the Scythians. A little bit about Siberia is we didn't really get into, like, you're talking about permafrost, but like Siberia takes up 10% of the entire landmass of the world, which is fucking enormous if you think about it. So like the United States is what percentage? It's fucking tiny. It's like 1%. I don't know the exact number, but this big ass country is fucking a small percentage of the world. Russia, which looks like, if you look at a map, looks like the biggest fucking landmass in the world, but they can't inhabit.
It's not utilized landmass. Yeah.
It's actually cut into like a third of its actual size because past the Ural Mountains to the east is Siberia, and then you have permafrost, this rocky landscape. If you've never seen a fucking picture of Siberia, it's fucking crazy. Season 6 of Alone was in Siberia, and it's like they couldn't fucking last there for more than a month because it was, people were falling out like the first fucking day because it's such a treacherous, like, barren wasteland. People refer to it as a barren wasteland all the time because
it's truly wild.
You can't grow shit there. It's like you have to fly everywhere in a helicopter. You can't get anywhere. Like, imagine back in the day when they didn't have the creature comforts that we all have. Like, it was next to impossible to even have it. In fact, most of it is been unexplored. It's kind of like the fucking Marianas Trench. You can't go there.
Yeah.
It's like that, but on the world. You can only look at it from satellite and helicopter if you want to go and you have the resources available. You're not going to get there. But in that area, they kind of span from the edge of human population below the Arctic Circle to just north of it, and they were positioned in between China, the Mongols, the Huns, the Turks, like all these populations, the Persian Empire. Everybody fought with these guys, but they're the people that you see that have the fucking golden eagles on the fucking video. It's like their people died out, but they have a lineage from that era
that are now the nomadic Mongols.
Yeah, and so they were able to master horse breeding and falconing and
falconry.
all this fucking shit that you needed to survive. They weren't all the way north, but they were like in this section between all these fucking people that didn't like them, but they tolerated them because they would trade with them and shit.
Yeah,
and they would because they had like this essential kingdom, right, of these fucking horse people, these nomadic tribesmen, and just this empire of that in that one section, and they didn't want to. They didn't want to go anywhere else. They were just in this area. It's like, leave us alone, we'll leave you alone. It's kind of like that idea. The other civilizations would make shit for them. And so one of the things they had, which is like go into the dinosaurs, why there stuff like that, the wolves, the dire wolves, all these big animals, a lot of their artwork involved horses. They're horses because that's what they were, their pets, and they had this relationship with them like dogs, essentially, like your man's best friend, but it was their dogs because they were everything to them. They carried their shit, they carried people, they were able to fight from them. They were like better than everybody on them, and they just want to be left alone. But they mastered all this shit. But the artwork they had depicted these monsters fighting their horses, and like and it was like historical, like their battles or whatever.
Yeah.
They didn't know these people existed, kind of like Vikings. Nobody, people didn't know they existed other than like the people that experienced them and wrote about them. But to find where they lived and shit is all kind of theory. You know what I mean? They kind of have satellite imagery of these villages where they think that Vikings existed in the Scandinavian countryside, and the historical traditions have been passed to all the people that live there today. You see them, they look like these giant fucking Vikings. So it's kind of like, but so you look at the stuff that they were like, these monsters that they depicted, and they were just big fucking animals, big eagles, big fucking wolves, big shit. And it's like, that's probably what they contended with back then. If they're finding woolly mammoths and shit and these fucking huge wolf skulls and stuff, it's like, it's in and dragons and shit. It's like, it's in the potential that all of this shit that we just kind of write about that we don't.
Just all around.
Nobody knows that certain animals existed till they go to Siberia and they're like, oh, what's this fucking big elephant? You know, they find this.
Yeah. So history is not history until it's fucking discovered.
Yeah.
You could talk all you want, but it's just folklore. Once that folklore is found with some evidence, then they're like, oh, we got to turn this into actual history now.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't a fucking anything about a woolly mammoth until they found some tusks, and they're like, whoa, and some bones. And then they actually find one and it's well intact, a baby one. They're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
We actually got one.
It was this furry elephant.
The head of this fucking wolf. Oh, we found one.
Yeah.
Now it's real life. Now it's fucking real life.
It lends itself to like the idea of like how much shit existed on this planet. You can talk about aliens. How did we get here? How much stuff existed? Because even this Scythian or Scythian thing, they don't have anything written about them, but they definitely existed. Because if you look at when they go up there and they found the first tomb, they have some of the same artwork and imagery as Egyptians do. The fucking eagle, all the gods and shit.
Yeah,
and it's like
interesting.
You know what I mean? Like they have this one piece that I saw was like a 2-headed eagle that was fighting a horse and fighting this big dragon thing, and it's like,
I'm gonna get that tattooed on my chest.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, that'd be dope. It's actually a really cool piece, but it had like the tunic and all that shit.
Oh,
you don't trust anybody in a fucking.
I'll have to get it as a tramp stamp. It's got the tunic.
You don't trust anybody in a tunic ever. Anybody wears one of those things.
Well, it's interesting. You see, like this, since you mentioned that, like the influence of other cultures on other cultures. You know, people travel back in the day. People, like, you think about history and you're like, oh, this pocket of people never talked to this pocket of people, and that's their history and their lineage is separate from theirs. Bullshit. People fucking traveled all over the goddamn world, and they talked to each other by feet, by boat, by anything, and they found each other in some cases. People are, oh, how could they build this type of monument here, which looks exactly like the one over here? Because they probably knew the same fucking guy who told them how to do it both. Yeah. You know, it's a very probable thing.
Even in the Bible, like, there's people that traveled around to talk about shit, and they just went everywhere.
If you're a fucking traveler, you're just gonna go. You're telling me that nobody back in the day decided to just fucking go off and travel?
It's a different time, though. Obviously a different time, but it's like if you were going on one of those trips, you were going there and then you weren't coming back. That's a different thing today. It's like, I'm going to go to Russia, and then you take a plane and then you come back next week.
Yeah. Back in the day, you probably were like, I'm just going to go. So you took your knowledge and you brought it way the fuck over here. And you meet these people and you learn how to communicate with them. And you're like, hey, I know a good way to build it this way. So they do it.
Yeah.
It's just like in the U.S., there was a Native American tribe, blue eyes, blonde hair. Tell me that isn't Scandinavian. So those fucking Vikings came over and fucked their women, created a new fucking race, if you want to call it that, right there.
It's like
a pocket of those people right there.
Alexander the Great. You see it in Iraq and in the Mesopotamian area, where like all of the stuff about the Bible and Jerusalem and stuff. You have blonde-haired, blue-eyed kids in the middle of this fucking this country that doesn't naturally have those type of people, and it's because of these white motherfuckers were coming in and fucking all the people. You know what I mean? So getting back on the sky, one of the interesting things that I thought about, that I heard about him in my research in the library. I was in the Encyclopedia Britannica.
You were in your study wearing your study hat, your monocle.
I had a pipe. Is they were covered in tattoos with the same kind of artwork.
Nice.
And it's not because they found those people, because people died a long time ago. They would, they did. They found, they were much like mummies, so they mummified them just like they did in Egypt, which is a weird thing.
Preserve their bodies and stuff.
So they would find these tombs that are like pyramids, but really tiny, like just above the ground, and they had burial chambers and shit like that. And so when they unwrapped them, they saw clear depictions of tattoos on them, and they just found this fucking thing very recently. So like they were still, the reason they were so preserved is because of the permafrost. They buried them in the permafrost because those people understood that keeps
it's a preservative
things.
It's a big freezer.
So
if you don't know what permafrost is, it's like a concoction of ice, dirt, mud, organic material that's just been frozen fucking solid. So it's like rock.
Whenever I hear permafrost, I think about when I cook vegetables or something, and then I have them in the freezer, and then I put it back, and then you go like a year later to get the vegetables out. You're like,
it's just in a block.
This tastes like shit. That's what I assume permafrost is like.
Don't eat the permafrost.
I wouldn't eat. You're not gonna take anything out of there. You're not gonna take the frozen meat. I wouldn't take the Scythians and like put them in my microwave after they're fucking.
Take a fucking steak off that mammoth and just throw it on the queue and just.
It's all fucking hard and chewy and shit. It's like a 70-year-old lady's tit skin. That's all like saggy and fucking stretched out and has all those freckles all over it and shit. It's like old people's skin. You don't want to put those old lady titties in your mouth.
Looks real tough, but it's real delicate at the same time.
I mean, I know a few people that would still do it, but you're not going to put that shit in your mouth, just like you're not going to put mammoth meat in your mouth.
Hey.
What kind of mammoth meat? I found a perfectly preserved mammoth penis. It's GA big.
Just take a steak off that. I just want to try some pterodactyl meat. You know what I mean?
We're going to do a test. Hold the base, and I'll try to warm it up. See, we turned it into something funny from fucking depressing. Also another thing that kind of goes with my own interest is one of the things that, like, two of the things they traded people for, which is still happens to this day.
Traded people for?
No. Traded with people. I'm sure they traded people back then. Probably. I'm sure they slavery has been in every sort of historical document ever.
Every civilization ever, Which they're still finding civilizations, by the way. Fuck.
Yeah.
Continue.
So people there in Siberia that live there still to this day will trade with cities or people and whatever for shit they can't make because it's like an impossible task to live there. And so they would trade.
We need cigarettes.
Yeah.
We don't have tobacco.
They don't. They can't grow shit up there.
Exactly.
So they run out. Be hard for me. I couldn't live up there. No energy drinks or Coors Light. So they traded with people just to the south to get pottery and alcohol. They would get wine, which was like their biggest item they would trade for because they're a bunch of drunkards.
Yeah.
How could you not be a fucking alcoholic?
Up in the Siberian fucking permafrost.
Still to this day, it's like the people that live there are very much like that. So what else do I got? I got anything else?
We get perma-fucked up.
I watched this video. This lady is like the farthest north person in the Arctic Circle, and she just lives there. And she's been there since she was a kid. Is that the one at the hunting camp? I mean, she hunts. Lady? No, I mean, she's a Russian.
Oh, okay.
Siberian.
Different one than I know of.
No, she's like 70 years old.
Okay.
And she's out there by herself with one. Well, no, there's one other dude he moved there in 96 and he got frostbite and has like one leg, and so he can't do shit.
I wonder if he still has his dick and he just fucks that old lady.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's like,
well,
sup,
in the video they talk about it.
Around.
What's fucked up about it is she words it in a way because they translate, and I think he raped her twice, fuck. And they still live together. He doesn't live in the same house. They live in two. It's only the two people there.
Yeah,
and so
she should kill him. She should just cut his dick off and say it was frostbite.
Yeah. She says it in a weird way. It's like this sinful thing because they're translating from Russian to fucking English, right? And it's through a dude who's he's it's not like a Vice News, I think, but he's like the Russian translator for Vice News Russia or something like that.
Yeah.
And she's like, they're talking about him and how he lives there with her and like how that's been and has he been helpful, and she's like, well, he can't do anything. And something about did you guys ever or have you ever been in a relationship or something? It came up somehow, and then she just goes, the sinful act happened twice with him. And you start to think like, oh, they fucked twice, but then she goes, I don't know what came over him. He got very violent and aggressive, and I think he was drunk, and we did the sinful act, and I couldn't sleep for days afterwards. And I hated him. I thought about killing myself. And it's like,
shit,
this dude raped her. Yeah. Like in the middle of fucking Siberia.
Fuck.
And then he lost his leg, so he deserves it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But I don't know. Yeah, she just, because they get alcohol or whatever, and she's old as shit. She was basically a child when they moved up there, and her whole family died. Over the years,
she just stayed, and she's like, fuck it.
They hadn't seen anybody from the time they moved from their city because it's a really strict version of Christianity, and they were being persecuted for their beliefs. And it was 40 years from the time that they saw a person to the next time they saw a person. Because they're so far north, nobody can get there. And the time they actually saw them was because helicopters were invented. Like,
shit.
And they were flying up there.
What is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck.
And then people started going there because they're like, what the fuck is that thing? There's like 10 houses down there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think her father died because of people that came there because of he got pneumonia, and they think it was because of people were visiting and they didn't have any natural immunity to anything. So they'd definitely be dead if the coronavirus made it up there.
Dude, can you think of like how back to this weird topic of not interfering with a civilization that's not been interacted in fucking ever. People worry about giving them diseases. What if they fucking have some weird disease to give
that they're used to
other people, you know?
And it causes a plague or something? Yeah.
Never thought about that reverse.
You don't think in reverse,
virology. It's weird.
What if the Native Americans gave all the white people diseases when they came over?
Yeah. I mean, not saying that's the case, but what if?
I mean, it might have been.
Could have been. It's crazy.
Pretty sure they were all getting syphilis and fucking herpes and shit back then. And they were fucking, you watch Dancing with Wolves.
Crazy movie.
What did they say? Kevin Costner was fucking all the girls to get them pregnant.
I wouldn't doubt it, dude.
You ever see that movie?
Tapping that shit. He's got a fucking ranch in South Dakota, in Spearfish, South Dakota, called Tatanka. Okay.
Oh yeah.
You can stand up on his property and look down into the valley to see these buffalo on his property. These buffalo are fucking cardboard, like metal cutouts and shit. Cardboard.
Oh, nice.
So people pay to go on his property to look down at these fake buffalo when you can go just drive down the street where they farm them.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Back in New York, a little bit upstate, and you look at the map and you'd be like, oh, that's not upstate, but everything past New York City's upstate, even West Point and shit, which is right essentially there. But they have a buffalo farm up there near my sister's house. It's fucking weird. The Jackass, they actually went to that one. It's cool. Talking about buffalo.
Buffalo are fucking
giant animal.
I love buffalo.
Found out the other day, I was looking at them, I was like, they're not endangered anymore.
No,
but they're in danger. It's not endangered, but they're
is that they used to be all over the fucking U.S.
Yeah,
like they were the most prevalent source, and then they got killed off basically when everybody was like, "That's our cow."
Yeah.
Indigenous peoples killed off by the hundreds into pits. They would chase a herd off the edge of this fucking cliff. They'd fall into this pit, and then they'd throw their spears and fucking bow and arrows and rocks and kill them. It's I forgot what a buffalo run is what they call it, a buffalo run. I visited one of those sites, and there's thousands of bones just laying in this pit that they're uncovering, and they're doing like archaeological digs.
You went on that one road trip?
This was a long time ago. It's on the way to Spearfish, South Dakota, through Wyoming and stuff.
Okay.
And they just have them like all these archaeological sites are just all over the place. Dinosaur digs and everything. It's really cool.
My mind just went to dinosaur dicks.
I found this huge bone. Boner.
Stupid. Fucking dumb.
But yeah, they're finding like arrowheads and stuff embedded in these bones and all kinds of crazy shit. Yeah. But the bison, man, bison are fucking massive and just you think about how big a bison is, and if you've been to Yellowstone and you've seen them walking down the road, those are small bison compared to what I'm sure existed back in the day.
Dude, that fucking video of that little kid getting smashed by that fucking was horrible.
And that thing was bigger than the car.
Yeah.
Just wham.
Just so quick.
Oh, fuck.
Kid's all fucked up.
I've seen video. So there's another video of like this little Chinese girl getting fucking flipped up into the air by one.
Yeah.
It's insane. Those things are so powerful. Don't go towards a fucking bison. I saw when I was driving through Yellowstone, I looked up into the field and there's bison roaming all over the place. There's people walking fucking towards them. Like, you're a fucking idiot.
It's a wild animal.
You're an idiot.
Fuck face.
They
deserve it.
Kill
they
you.
Get fucking hit.
Yeah.
You deserve it. I don't care what kind of. If I saw a big ass fucking deer, I wouldn't go near it.
It's not
dude.
a petting zoo.
Scary.
You seen those videos of like the Alaskan moose? Those things are like 2 cars.
They'll kill you. They're not afraid of humans.
They will destroy everything. Anything.
Even elk, dude. Those are massive.
I want to touch it. What is the human problem where you have to fucking reach out and touch the... Shark, I need to pet the shark. You know what I mean?
Entitlement.
They put my
dude.
hand inside the alligator's mouth. There's no fucking reason to do that.
They're shocked when something happens.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh my God, what did they do?
I was looking up the other day, like, are there any animals you could just walk up to and not be afraid of you? And there's actually a bunch of animals that aren't fucking afraid of humans.
Yeah.
Raccoons are one of them. They're not afraid of fucking humans. So they're not afraid. They're cautious. There's categories of animals that are not afraid. Crocodiles and alligators are not afraid of humans. They'll just fucking rip you apart. They look at you as food. They look at everything as food. They're apex.
If it moves,
And raccoons there's a class that's cautious, so they're like they'll try to get away from you, but they're not like I don't know how if they put probes in their brain or something to see but they're not the same thing as like a fucking deer, which is terrified of humans.
Yeah.
Like if you get near it and it's just like boom, 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 boom. You know, some deer are hand fed and they just walk up to you and will eat and shit. But there's cautious, afraid, and unafraid. So
interesting.
Buffalo are unafraid of humans.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
That's why you can just walk up to them and shoot them, and it doesn't matter if they're wild or whatever. But they also will fuck you up if they don't want to be around you,
or if you fucking miss.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's that. What else we got on Siberia? Got anything else? I didn't have.
That's all
anything
I had,
cool.
man.
It's pretty standard, but the big difference I saw about those people were like they're tatted up freaks, which is a weird thing in general because nobody was tatted up. So
besides the Japanese back in the day,
they were big horse people, almost like Viking-ish, which is not a standard thing for like.
So think about
area.
that. They're tatted up like Japs were. Excuse me. Like the Japanese
fucking
were.
The gooks.
They were tatted up.
That's
like
when I got
Japanese
kicked off
were.
of YouTube for this.
And they were riding horses like Scandinavians were.
Yeah.
Just that cultural influence. They were using art like the Egyptians. Who the fuck knows, man?
Yep. Yeah. Hard life back then too.
Maybe all three of those, they had a three-way and they had a baby, and that's what those Scythians or whatever it is were.
Yeah.
You never know, man.
Look at that beautiful forest, fucking snowfall. Look at those big ass fucking snowflakes, dude.
Damn.
They ain't fucking anybody asses.
I think
big ass.
I have a picture like that.
Oh, look at that now. Look at that thing now.
It's a waterfall.
I have that TV up there to like do something at some point, but it just puts pretty pictures up there.
Not
I'm
a
like,
bad
oh,
spot
cool.
for pretty pictures.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else on that?
Nope. That's all I got, man.
Okay, we're feeding the beast here.
You know who should go to Siberia and make? No, they shouldn't go to Siberia. That'd be stupid. I was gonna say Core Concepts.
Well, I mean, they hide things. There's hidden things in fucking.
There's hidden
Siberia.
things in Siberia. You should make a permafrost holster. You can keep some fucking ivory in your holster.
For a fucking mammoth tusk.
Mammoth tusk holsters.
Yeah.
Get on it. That's so dumb.
Yeah, go to Core Concepts. Use code VIOPRO. VIOPRO. At coreconceptsus.com, and instead of C's, you use K's. And you go there and use Core Concepts to VIOPRO, get 10% off some shit they sell.
Don't use K's in the third C spot because it won't work.
It won't. Just Google coreconceptsus.com and go there, use code VIOPRO. And then you can also use VIOPRO at Aries Clothing and get 15% off because I'm nicer than Logan.
Oh, burn.
Sick burn. He's so
Sick
fucking
burn.
burn. You're fucking burn. You're
Toasted.
You fucking look like a fucking French toast or something. What's toasted?
Bread?
I'm fucking burned you, dude. You're fucking burned.
Got burned by a discount.
Yeah.
Man. Evil vibes.
Yeah, evilvibesco.com. Just go there.
Yeah, no, Evil vibes. Go. Just spend some money there.
I'm kind of burned out on Evil Vibes. It's a hard one, dude. It fucking takes a lot out of me.
Strikeforce.
StrikeForceEnergy.com. Use code Evil Vibes, and you get 20% off. And if you order more than $35 worth of shit,
you get free shipping.
Free shipping. So do that, and it supports the podcast. You want to support this podcast, and you want to also be hyped. You can go there and support the podcast other than patrons.
Man, subscribe.
I said on the last one, I do a subscription once a month. They send me a pump bottle of that hype shit, and I never have to think about
it's
it.
like that cocaine,
that
liquid cocaine.
And it's relatively inexpensive, gets you hyped, and then it supports podcasts. That's how we got all these cool mics and fucking fancy shit.
Yeah. That is not how I got this fancy hat, though. This was purchased with my own funds.
Oh, also, I mentioned on the last one, I'm looking at the spaces. So this is a time in the next 3 months where you supporting the podcast means a lot. And I might do something like put your name on the fucking wall or something. If you do some cool shit for us.
With hearts.
Yeah, because
kissy faces.
With the new space, the bigger space, the fancier environment, then it's a risk, just like businesses. But I'm one of those people that have always taste risk. I taste risk. I take the risk because it's worth it in the end to fucking do that, because there's a lot of people that won't take risks. And so some of us have to, I guess. So I always have tried to be in a better location. Sometimes I fall back. Like, actually, the most listened to episode is Fail Forward that we did when I was talking about moving out of a space to another space. I was talking about that and how downsized. And so part of the deal is like being smart about your moves. And so that's what this next move is being smarter because of more financially capable, and everything's like, I know what the business is doing. Part of my issue with the business before was like, I kind of you remember from the beginning when I was just like throwing out fucking a bunch of shit because I had all these ideas, and to get myself to stop, I think now I'm in a place where I'm like, okay, this is what it is. This is what I'm doing, and this is the way forward. And now I can see what's happening in 5 years. Whereas before, when I'm just trying to be a business person, I didn't really fucking know. And I just was like, yeah, this is what And so that goes with how do I run the administrative, financial, and everything is kind of solid now. I mean, things change because I always have ideas, but I am very solid in what I'm doing now. So part of that is now moving on to something bigger and more riskier to yield a better product and service.
Absolutely. Yeah. Plus, it'll make you happier with your product and service.
Yeah.
And I'm there every fucking step of the way, man.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yep. Every step until you're like, I gotta go to work, and then you're like, there's no step. You're not taking any steps.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
I gotta go to work at fucking 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Shit.
And then that's fucking dumb. Fucking dumb. That sucks. But what's funny is because I'm at work at 1 sometimes.
Yeah, I'll wake up and you're still awake.
It's 3 a.m. and I'm still like, hey, look at this meme. And then I'll wake up at like fucking 3 hours later or something like that. So go check out all those places I talked about. And if you want to support the podcast,
not Siberia.
Don't go to Siberia.
If you do go to Siberia, send us some pictures of you with the gear we told you to go buy.
Yeah. And then if you really want to support the podcast, you want to see us grow, we've got 16 awesome patrons right now that get content before everybody else.
I love you.
And I should put their name up at the end of this episode just to say like,
just scroll.
Well, I put it at like the end screen that's like
right here.
Or I could do it during the episode that says like, these are the patrons.
Right here.
Yeah. And in this time when I'm taking a risk and like looking at moving forward and stuff like that, being a patron, it would be awesome because the extra financial support will support the new space, which is well, I have other shit going on. Like I could just stay in this place we're at, but I could also go to a place that's more aesthetically pleasing. This podcast studio is awesome, but I want to make the building, while it caters to all the other shit I do, I want it to be more focused on the podcast, because
have a space dedicated to making that happen.
Yeah, and it's more because the podcast is like with the video and stuff like that, is you have to be more aesthetically pleasing and a better environment to have a better fucking mentality going into it. And it also opens up the opportunity being in a more centralized location to have different kinds of people on than just fucking you.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but it's like, I think with the podcast, myself and Mark have done it so many times now that now we're at a space where it's like, let's start bringing these other people in that it'd be better to have at this other location. You know what I mean? So we can all just more space, because the podcast studio is a little bit fucking small to have fucking 10 people going.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
So like having additional space is what is the next step. So I could keep going on.
Definitely growth.
Yeah.
Growth.
So if you want to go support the podcast and help us grow, patreon.com/violent professional. You could, if you can't type in that because of whatever reason, you could go and search Violent Professional Patreon.
Sometimes you can say it into your phone and it
Yeah, hey, show me the Patreon. It's like, do you want to look at porn or something like that? So with that, what you got to say?
Bye-bye.
Talk about your mustache or anything? You want to talk about
you can see my
getting that
fucking
mullet?
mustache. I'm going for the mullet. It's getting long in the back.
Are you really going to do one?
Fuck yeah, I am.
Because I talked about on the last one, like a good section of the last episode, I was talking about how I have a mullet. It's mullet fucking Monday.
Dude, we're going for mullet Monday. It's going to be mustache
I could
and mullet
I could
Monday.
grow it out, and then for the spike ball tournament, I could shave the sides, and then I'll just get an actual haircut. That's when I'll do it.
Yep.
Is
I
next
like it.
next month.
Fucking A.
I'll get the fucking mullet. I'll have a
doing
mustache. We'll do an outfit.
Yep.
I won't see anybody besides you or David until
yeah,
then.
there you go, dude.
Nobody will know it's coming.
Solid. We got to see how many teams we're going to have on that thing. We're going to play a spike ball tournament, guys.
Yep.
I've never played spike ball, but we're going to fucking win.
I'm I'm pretty coordinated in regular sports.
So am
But spike ball is one of those things that eludes me. It's fucking weird. It's like playing volleyball, but with a net on the ground.
Don't touch the ground. Don't let it touch the ground.
My son,
Slam it. Boom.
who's 9 years old, can compete against me and win.
Oh, shit.
Unless I'm not letting him win, and then I just spike the shit out of that thing to where it goes over his head. I do my serve and it goes fucking boom, because you can literally play it, like throw it up and fucking slam that shit, but it's like the only time you have to stay stationary behind your side of the fucking square net, the circle net or whatever, the round net is. Let's play a little round net, is when you serve and then you go all around it and you can get into fucking fights and shit. You can knock each other over.
Oh, shit.
Literally, there's a thing that says maybe you want to stay away from people so you don't get in a fight in the directions. So, like, you do the serve and then it goes to the other team if they don't get spiked on or whatever. And then you're just fucking like, you get 3 hits per team. And I mean, you could be on that side of the net and I could fucking pop it up. And then they can't touch it until you fucking hit it into the net. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So it's just like 3 hits, just like volleyball.
Dope.
But dude, when you get home from this, fucking go look up some YouTube videos of the pros.
I've seen some pretty extreme ones. It's kind of like, it reminds me of that extreme ping pong tournament where they're fucking like just volleying from like 10 feet and fucking just bing, bing, bing.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, fuck.
I'd say it to anybody. If you want to see something crazy, go look at professional spike ball tournaments, like the video highlights, and those people are fucking wicked, dude. They're just like, how do they even know that the ball is coming, dude? It's not sped up. They're just like, dude, it's like, fuck.
It's extreme.
We're going to be horrible at it. All of us.
I guarantee it, but our mullets are going to make us win.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
I confirmed Peter's going to be coming to. This was going to be the TASDEV Olympics, but I think we're just going to do the spike ball thing, or we could do something, add something to it. But
Daniel will probably be there.
Yeah, get him going on it, and get climb team dudes and get everybody involved. Let's make it a bigger thing, and we'll put it out to the public also. If you're in Washington area, specifically Olympia, Joint Base Lewis McChord, Tacoma,
we'll get some while we're doing those games. We'll have like some fucking what's the beanbag shit? Cornhole. We'll get some cornhole going at the same time.
I was going to throw in slip and slide too, but it's like, whatever.
Maybe we will.
They got that hill. Oh, we're not doing that. We're going to a different park.
We are?
Yeah, a different one. It's Pioneer Park.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
you know where that is?
Yep.
Yeah, because there's like a football field and shit there.
Bigger space, yeah.
Like 20 football fields.
So much more room for activities.
Yeah, a lot of activities. Anyway, we'll keep you guys all abreast of the situation. I made a tit joke. And
you milked that one. Funny.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye now.